Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 replay cast. We have got ourselves what is going to be a Protoss versus Zerg on the map 2,000 atmospheres. 2,000 atmospheres of pressure, which I doubt these guys are facing, to be honest. These two guys are both very seasoned StarCraft 2 players, both of them champions, and both of them at the top of their scene. In the bottom left, we've got none other than Reynor, the world champion, the last guy to win No, he didn't win BlizzCon, the last guy to win IEM. He's darn good at StarCraft 2. That being said, he's not infallible, and this guy could definitely take him down. He is the top European Protoss, you can say with confidence. It is ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE, a darn good Protoss player. He's had a bit of a tough time, sort of sitting on the sidelines while all the other players have been stepping up and winning tournaments, but he's been consistent, and he is always darn good. So, a PvZ, and we've actually got Reynor moving out with a drone right away at the start of the game, being cheeky as heck. Probably going to be going for a hatch block on ShoWTimE's base. Does he get it up? No, he doesn't, interestingly enough. So ShoWTimE does get his Nexus up, but Reynor's just moving around being a pain with this drone. Wants to go for the gas steal, but obviously ShoWTimE blocks it, as he should do. And this drone, oh gosh, it's actually getting close to dying. Gotta be careful. He's trying to pull a fast one on ShoWTimE, but ShoWTimE's too fast for that Reynor. And oh man, that drone is super duper low. ShoWTimE says enough is enough and just takes the gas. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy these kind of commentaries, these 1v1 procasts between some of the best, make sure to hit that like button. If we can hit 50 likes on this video, that would truly be amazing. And of course, subscribe, join the bell gang, hit that bell icon to get notified whenever I put up a new cast, which is semi-regularly. And yeah, then join the Discord, which is linked down below. And of course, leave a comment that says, I don't know, that says how you pronounce Clash. Or Keylash, oh gosh. I totally just, I knew at one point, but it's gone. Anyway. Yeah, we have got ourselves a Stargate on the way now for ShoWTimE, no surprise there. Reynor, oddly enough, does have his drone still in ShoWTimE's base. This is not a usual occurrence in PvZ. A Zerg just keeping a drone on this side of the map, but I guess Reynor maybe figures, well, may as well keep it over here, and then just buy time with it, scout it. It's not gonna make it home or something, maybe he figures, or it's just not worth it. So yeah, now we have got a couple of things out for Reynor, pushing that probe away. The Oracle's on the way, but now Reynor knows everything, of course. He's seen the Stargate go up. He's got all the information. He is going to do a million little things that are just pretty much automatic for him at this point. Like, he's going to position his queens appropriately for when an Oracle would be out. He's going to be able to build spore crawlers at the right time, which probably is going to be soon with that Oracle about to pop out. And then, yeah, Twilight Council on the way as a follow-up for ShoWTimE. No surprise there. I do expect we'll probably see a third from ShoWTimE soon, TM. I get the feeling that he's not going to go for some big all-in this game. That being said, I could be wrong, as he throws up 3 more gateways. So going up to 4 gates, so it could be that 4-gate Adept play, actually. Yeah. Now let's take a look. ShoWTimE comes in with his Oracle towards the 3rd, no drones there. It's always a guessing game of trying to know the right position, but then we see Reynor puts his queens into perfect position. ShoWTimE could maybe wait for a drone to pop and try and grab that. Reynor's very quick on the draw though. Oh, but he does lose the drone. So ShoWTimE does get a pick off there with that Oracle. At the same time though, for hard-working Protoss players, controlling their Oracles, it is a bit depressing because against another Zerg, a guy like ShoWTimE is probably going to get like a decent number of drones. Like, he could get between like 2, 3, 4, 5 drones depending on the match. But versus Reynor, you're happy if you get 1 at the start. ShoWTimE, though, hasn't taken any actual hull damage on his Oracle. He's going to try and get another drone. He does get a second and gets out with the Oracle with full energy, with full HP there. The shields can regen. So he's going to be rather pleased with that, as a matter of fact. I think a little thing like that probably bugs Reynor a bit. because he's such a quick player that things like that don't tend to get by him too often. ShoWTimE, though, maybe flying too close to the sun with his Oracle here as it gets tucked in the corner now by these queens, potentially just to be recalled later, we shall see. For now, though, ShoWTimE is going to be getting up that third Nexus, going into the Resonating Glaives, but as he's still producing probes, he never made a Robo to really back up this push. It's just going to be a move out by ShoWTimE with a bunch of Adepts, but then nothing more, no crazy follow-up or anything. The Oracle's still pinned in the corner there, but in come the Adepts. They're all of a sudden going to be hitting that third base. Looks like Reynor's not in the best positioning for it. He has a solid wall at his natural base, but there's not a ton to defend at his third, so ShoWTimE is finding some serious work with these Adepts. Not a ton of drone kills yet, but he forced them off the base. Reynor's had to go for this awkward wall. ShoWTimE should not commit there, though, with the Adept. He's right in front of the Queens, taking a lot of damage. He still figures, though, maybe I can get some good kills. I'm just going to commit these Adepts, and he's gone for it. A Stasis Ward even snuck up in the main base. Ironically enough, those drones are safe. So ShoWTimE kind of played himself there a little bit. But Adept still shading around in Reynor's base. You might want to second some off towards the third base, as there is all these Roaches and Queens just waiting for them. I would have liked to see that, but anyway, ShoWTimE has managed to get 11 drones now. Just basically pulling a fast one on Reynor here. Reynor, like, he's usually so good at defending these things, but then if your defense is a little bit off, all of a sudden even the best players in the world can be paying the price. As 15 drones go down, ShoWTimE is going to be rather pleased with that. He throws up another 4 gateways. He's got Blink on the way, +1 on the way. An Observer is on the way. We'll probably see an Immortal get Chrono boosted out soon. And then ShoWTimE really just needs to build up his army to plan for an almost inevitable counterattack, because Reynor is at a huge deficit this game. And all this Oracle flying over for ShoWTimE can definitely get a couple more drones, and they do. There's no Spore Crawler actually at the natural. But yeah, Reynor making a few mistakes here. That Oracle obviously wasn't killed, but then he left his units out of position for that, wanting to focus on his creep spread. ShoWTimE just seems to be playing a little bit sharper than Reynor so far this game. Okay, now let's take a look. The Observer's out for ShoWTimE. He's had plenty of time to get his economy going, to get his production going behind this. I love the choice that he's going for double Robo with a Robo Bay on the way, so he can go for Disruptors, he can go for a Colossus if he really wants to. But yeah, really great position here for ShoWTimE. The Oracle still alive is incredible. He can always go for more Stasis Ward harassment and such. And yeah, it's just a great game all around for ShoWTimE. Reynor is trying to make Roach Ravager, which he can definitely work miracles with, as he's got his 1-1 on the way too. That will greatly benefit them. But in comes ShoWTimE all of a sudden with Sentry, Stalkers, and Immortal, going to be cleaning up some creep, pushing Reynor away, seeing if Reynor has adequate defenses, and Reynor figures he doesn't. He knows he'd probably lose the game if he tried to defend that 4th base, so he elects to just retreat, cancel that 4th. We'll see if he tries to get that one up. Yes, he does. Basically just trying to buy a bit of time until he does have adequate defenses to make ShoWTimE hesitate a bit more. More Ravagers are morphing. The Krozabal can always zone out ShoWTimE's army. Here comes a bunch of Lings. Krozabal's going to break those force fields, but ShoWTimE will end up retreating here. He can always save the Immortal in the prison. Instead, he elects to use some force fields to retreat. And looks like ShoWTimE will just back up home until he's ready to move out for another attack. He's got his 4th base on the way up. That's actually sooner than the Zerg's 4th. That speaks volumes to ShoWTimE's position. As long as ShoWTimE doesn't take a terrible engagement or anything, he is cruising into a solid later stage of the game. Reynor is actually trying to make a play here to come back. He's going for Tunneling Claws and Burrow. ShoWTimE has got a cannon getting up at his 4th. He's got several at his 3rd. None at his natural or his main, which is definitely fair to leave those uncovered, but ShoWTimE still is in quite a good position here, and with the Templar Archives on the way, even more cannons going up, he's just playing it real safe. This Oracle being alive and spotted this Roach Ravager army, ShoWTimE can reposition, or instead he actually elects just to attack into Reynor, realizing that Reynor probably doesn't have the stuff for a base trade out on the map, so ShoWTimE forces Reynor to retreat. He even tags the army. This is a beautiful game by ShoWTimE here. Spines are going up for Reynor, getting worried about a counterattack. It does go to show that he is thinking about the longer stage of the game. He's not just going to go for a Hail Mary and go for like a big Roach Ravager attack or something like that. He figures that this game is going to go on for a little bit as the Infestation Pit gets thrown up. And that was the situation that ShoWTimE set up for himself. He got good damage done with an opening, which I honestly didn't expect to get too much done. But now as we see Reynor move forward, I think these players are going to skirmish, but then Reynor is just going to probably end up retreating. ShoWTimE might keep testing the Zerg waters, but all in all, both these guys do seem to be heading towards the mid-game, and that's something that I do find interesting. ShoWTimE just saying, yeah, I'll just throw up more gateways, play the game out. That's rather confident by ShoWTimE. He's warping in a lot more stalkers, so it's not like he's pecking into late-game carriers or anything, but he's been in no rush to try and kill Reynor. It looks like he might just be trying to max out, get a better army than the Roach Ravager on the ground. Reynor, though, with his Corrosive Bile, can trade surprisingly efficient with these Ravagers, and is actually going to land some more Corrosive Biles. Picks off an Archon, getting some good pickoffs against ShoWTimE's army. ShoWTimE's dropped about 20 supply, but then Reynor, not paying attention for a second, eats a fatty Disruptor shot. It's like my ladder game earlier today. Just not paying attention for a second, and you face the wrath of the Disruptor. Reynor's spines are coming into effect now. He's got some more wings and roaches out, so he should be able to deal with these Zealots. And those spines, all in all, were a great call. ShoWTimE does want to play that game, which he'll use Prisms to harass, pick Reynor apart, and then eventually get the win. So Reynor investing in those spines was sort of him sensing that was going to happen, which is great to see. Warp Prism is going to get Corrosive Bile. Ravager, oh my god, actually Corrosive Bile itself, that was terrible. The Prism still died though, so it's good for Reynor. But now we actually see some Roaches snuck into the main base. But they're not getting too much done. They're going to try and pick off this cannon, which they should be able to do, and they do that, so then they can reburrow. Keep being a pain on ShoWTimE's side of the map, but when you're trying to deal with a Protoss army that's got Disruptors in it as well, you do need to be focusing most of your attention on your main army as Reynor. The Zerg player is actually going to be moving on in dangerously, I'll say. Going to try and use a good angle to land some Corrosive Biles, and so far he has been doing a great job of that. He's been able to kill 8 probes while this is going on. Roaches at the third. The Roaches in the main were cleaned up, but yeah, the Roaches at the third being a bit of a pain. ShoWTimE does have an Observer with this army, but yeah, still I'm feeling pretty good for ShoWTimE. That being said, we now see Vipers on the way. They can always abduct Disruptors and such. Reynor now coming in towards the third base, going to be killing off ShoWTimE's static defense. That's not cheap, but then again, neither is losing Ravagers to Disruptor shots like we just saw. And Reynor, though, is kind of playing the game rather, I'll say, relaxed at this point. I know as I say that, he's losing a ton of units, but he's got a 5-6 base economy to fall back onto. I don't think he's too worried about ShoWTimE coming across the map and killing him right now. So yeah, Reynor can just keep pumping out units, and yeah, ShoWTimE isn't going to be going for a kill anytime soon. Maybe he's going to try and get a base, but this is not a killing force by the Protoss. ShoWTimE just invested in a Stargate and a Fleet Beacon, actually a second Stargate. But yeah, ShoWTimE's just being careful, moving on to creep. He's got to respect Reynor going for another counterattack, but we probably will have to see a 5th base on the way for ShoWTimE soon, if he is just going to keep sitting back, or he does need to get some damage done to Reynor. Disruptors getting abducted, though, is making ShoWTimE's life real hard. The Immortals are going to do what they can against this Roach Ravager. Here comes some reinforcing Zealots. The Stalkers actually blink forward very boldly, and just getting right in the face of those Ravagers, trying to pick off as many as they can. With the Zealot reinforcement, ShoWTimE's army is actually able to push Reynor back for a second. Reynor getting more energy on these Vipers. ShoWTimE, though, has Zealots now at this base. His Archons are really tanky here to stall the Zerg at the front. Zealots hitting this 5th or 6th base for Reynor. It's actually the 6th base. No, 5th base, pardon me. And all of a sudden, Reynor's fighting at a bad angle, so he's finding himself up against the wall a little bit. These Zealots are doing wonders for ShoWTimE, killing off 8 drones, getting some damage done. And yeah, ShoWTimE just still playing with this unit composition, is doing pretty good for himself. The Vipers, though, refueling on energy, almost refueled, are going to make ShoWTimE's life a little bit difficult, so he does fire up a couple of carriers, start tacking into that good army. The Zerg player has been unable to save his 5th base so far, so maybe we'll see Reynor expand left to compensate. But all in all, this is a great attack by ShoWTimE. He hasn't been able to get the kill, as killing Reynor when he's just producing a ton of Roaches and Ravagers is not going to be easy. Now we see the Zerg player moving forward with this mass Ravager count. 22 Ravagers is nuts. Some high-profile targets could be getting picked off here by the Vipers, looking to abduct an Immortal, looking to abduct an Archon perhaps, but we do see a beautiful snipe there by ShoWTimE, picking off one of the Vipers, and in one swoop saving one of his units. We've got the Archon is actually a massive unit. We see a Viper gets feedback. Immortal's got to be careful, getting abducted. Yeah, one Immortal just goes down just like that. The carrier is out now though, which may give Reynor some pause. Well, it's just one carrier, it's not the end of the world, but now it's two. Reynor's going to have to back up. He fires up a few more Vipers. He'll probably need to get Corruptors at some point in this game, though. Either that or he's going to have to swing around and maybe hit one of ShoWTimE's bases. The Protoss player blinks forward, eating more Crows of Baal, but forcing a fight that he's happy to take since he does have carriers in the sky. More and more Crows of Baal going down, but ShoWTimE getting some good pickoffs on the Zerg force with his Blink Stalkers. Actually doing surprisingly well with his Blink Stalkers. Roth is trying to grab a few probes while this is going on. Both players not on the best economy. We've got this awkward situation which carriers are trying to dodge Crows the Baals. Reynor has to burn Transfuse, keep his Ravagers alive. He's yet to throw up a Spire. And yeah, ShoWTimE with getting out carriers is actually in a beautiful position. So we see Infestors are now on the way for Reynor. But gosh, what a PvZ we have here today. ShoWTimE securing up his 5th base. Is going to be feeling pretty good about himself, I feel, though. And, yeah, I'm not sure if Reynor really is going to be able to pull together when he needs to deal with these carriers. He's got multiple hatcheries on the way. He just secured this one up. He's trying to get this one up. ShoWTimE's going to say no with his Zealots. And, yeah, I'm quite concerned for Reynor. He's got Infestors about to pop out. He doesn't have Neural Parasite, though, so he's just going to have Fungal. And I don't know if that's going to be enough. I guess you fungal the carriers, then try and Crows of Baal them down. That is going to have to be a master play by the Zerg player, basically, to get something like that off. He can try and Crows of Baal the carrier. ShoWTimE is able to get that to safety. It's very difficult to hit carriers with Crows of Baal, and that's why we see players almost never do that. Reynor does have Neural Parasite on the way, so he will be able to take those out of the fight. More Infestors are on the way as he doubles down. Still, though, ShoWTimE is given a lot of grief to Reynor this match. The Zerg army is pulled back by the Prism. ShoWTimE's going to step on in. Reynor has been unable to mine from this base the entire game. Queens are now going to be getting picked off, and they're not insignificant at this point. Reynor's really just been trapped on 4 bases against a 5-base Protoss for a little bit too long. One Viper gets picked off by a solid blink by the Protoss player. ShoWTimE loses a couple Stalkers, but he can take worse trades than Reynor at the minute. He's maxed out. A Parasitic Bomb hits one of the carriers, but it's going to take like 2 more to kill that off. 2, 3 more? Yeah, 3 more to actually kill off the carrier in tandem, which is just not done. Yeah. Reynor is in a tricky spot. ShoWTimE's even getting a Psystorm, which really completes the carrier army. The High Templar can feed back the Infestors and Vipers. Unless ShoWTimE overcommits and Reynor gets a great fight with his Zerg army that's got more supply than that of ShoWTimE's, it's going to be really difficult. Reynor's getting up Spore Crawlers and such to play a late game, but you really can't play a late game when you're trapped on 4 bases. You need a decent economy to back it up. I know that turtling up can be appealing and really work at times, but when you're only on 4 bases, throwing up Spore Crawlers is not going to be what you need. We see ShoWTimE with a beautiful blink getting on top of Infestors. Vipers like mass feedback goes down on the Infestors. They all just disappear. ShoWTimE getting a brilliant engagement on top of Reynor's force. The Ravagers are just not going to be up to it. That was absolutely a game-winning move by ShoWTimE as he takes a great fight. Reynor's force before that maybe could have held ShoWTimE at bay, but absolutely not. What a beautiful finisher there by ShoWTimE. By God, that was like, what? 8 Infestors, 4 Vipers. ShoWTimE just, with the Xel'Naga Tower, was able to see it, so he blinks forward. 1 Viper gone. Oh my gosh. Reynor had a quick reaction, I'll say, which was the best for a bad situation, the best for a terrible situation. Trying to save his units there with that, but then all of a sudden ShoWTimE's coming forward. He's got all of his Stalkers, which are going to auto-target down some Infestors. The mass feedback gets queued up on those Infestors, making them disappear. Reynor didn't get off a single spell with them. besides that blinding cloud that went down, the Vipers are just going to be useless, and Reynor just got wrecked there. So GG gets called. ShoWTimE played a marvelous PvZ. Reynor maybe looked a little bit off at the start with his initial defense, and he absolutely was behind from the start of the game. But all in all, ShoWTimE's unit positioning was really good there. So yeah, thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this match, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, consider becoming a member by using that join button down below. I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.